Happy New Year to each one of you. And thank you for being here. In 2014, we shared a tremendous amount of information. We identified what was really going on in our lives. We validated each other. You validated me a great deal. And thank you so much for that. You'll never understand how much I needed that. So again, thank you. I was thinking today how interesting it is where so many of us are in the second half of our lives when we begin to realize and understand what narcissism is and what narcissistic abuse does. And perhaps we need to give ourselves a break. Now that we've identified it clearly and without doubt, now that we've identified it, now that we have realized clearly that we are victims of narcissistic abuse, we've got to find a way to shift that and move from victims to having feelings of self-worth. See, back over here, starting at very young ages, or perhaps very early on in your marriage, you had somebody in your life that you trusted, that you naturally assumed loved you, cared for you, and would protect you. This is a natural element within ourselves. And when we were being abused at those early stages, we couldn't possibly have any idea. After all, this person, or these people, parents perhaps, told us they loved us while giving us mixed message of how we had no worth and we were rotten and we were sick son of a bitches. So is it any wonder it is taking us so long to realize what narcissism or narcissistic abuse really is? Now, technology has helped us a great deal. But I'll tell you what, even in my 20s, I was still a kid. You know, I would have liked to say that I came from a steady household that helped me understand and learn about the world and understand what unconditional love was. But that wasn't the case. In those early formative years, when we are being pounded and pounded with messages, when we are possibly being physically abused, when we are possibly being sexually abused, those early age, our brains are just formulating. And what we're doing is we are, whether we like it or not, believing the messages that we're receiving. We're believing we have no worth. We're believing we're bad. We're believing that we are those sick little bastards that they told us we were. We believe that we were undeserving of love, or even undeserving of being liked At those early formative years, our self-esteem was not only ripped out from us, but it was never really established. So now we know. Now we understand without a doubt what it was. So if we continue going on and really, really remain trapped in that rabbit hole of victim, it's going to become more difficult for us to get out. It's going to become more difficult for us to allow ourselves to get and stay healthy. It'll become more difficult for us to achieve self-worth. And I'll tell you what, I know each one of you deserve to have self-pride and self-worth. Look, we've made so many mistakes in our personal lives. I'll own up to mine. I've made plenty of mistakes. A lot of those was simply as a kid growing up. But I can tell you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that a majority of those were because I had no self-worth. I believed everything that I was being told. I believed that I was a bad kid. And I took that, and consciously or subconsciously, I took that into my early years and believed that I didn't deserve anything, that I didn't deserve love. Because when my mind was maturing, I was being constantly bombarded with messages that I wasn't worth anything. But now we know. Now we can continue and try to achieve our own safe and healthy mental well-being. We know what happened to us. And now we know, don't we, what we have to do to allow ourselves to heal and become mentally healthy. Let's try to figure out ways to do that. I want to wish you peace in this new year. I want to wish you, sincerely wish you, the strength and the wisdom to move forward from being a victim of narcissistic abuse to being a survivor and a champion of good mental health and self-worth, because you are indeed worth it. I know you are. Happy New Year. I'm wishing you peace. And let's do this.